Why, hello there. Let's make sure everything is Gucci. I think we might be. Sorry to run just a little late today. Okay. You. Good. You. Something on my mouse pad interfering with my mouse. There we go. Okay. Okay, we'll get that. All right, where the heck was I? We need to... We were getting our stuff for connection data. Let's go ahead and launch this. That can be closed. You can come up here. Okay, so these guys. These guys are going to need to... Okay, we gotta figure out what we want to do with that. We're doing that part. So in here, we need to set our editable copy. And we're doing destination here. No, we're doing enter message here. Transit enter equals value. And then if this isn't modified already, we set state true. That does that. We're going to need to do... We already did that. Okay. So now we just need to do another form field, label the exit message. Another one of these guys, controller, the exit controller. We'll do the decoration bits. None. And then the helper text to avoid issues in the label. And then on changed, basically the same thing is going to happen, but for the exit, again, we'll make sure that this isn't already done before we go ahead and do it. Like so. And then we need our validator, also has a value. For now, if it's null or empty, we'll error. We'll just check that for now. That's probably just enough in general. And then we have a exit description. So we'll do one more. Is that what we... Enter message, exit message. Is that what we're going to call you? Yeah, That's fine. Fine and dandy. Oops. That needs to be in a text widget. And then one more of these. Controller, exit, description controller. We can just copy this. That's fine. We'll do our on changed. Looks very much the same. Exit description. Value. If not modified. Set state. And validator is empty. Exit description field be empty. There we go. That's perfect. Okay, that should get us all of the basics there. Perfect. We need also where's my connection data model? Connection model. We don't have the transit abilities in here yet. I forgot about them, apparently. I believe they came from the file. They should be on the connection objects. 99.9% certain. But we're going to need to figure that out. Let's finish this up first, though. Finish form fields what is already in the connection objects. Okay. Because we're going to need a couple things here. I think I need to refresh my memory about how we handled this and decided to do this, because we kind of want to stick to re-implementing what is already there first. Map, there you are. In our map here, yeah, we do have an apply and a delete in there. That's fine. And I don't remember if this apply does do that. Okay. Don't save the changes, discard them. Okay. That's fine and dandy with me. We just need to build her up. We think here. So at the end here, I think we're just going to do a row. And the main axis alignment at the end for you. And then we can do floating action button, just empty func for meow. You're going to be the apply button. And then after you, another floating action button. And then this is our delete forever outlined guy. Like so. You are theme of the context, color scheme, error container, foreground color, color scheme on error container. Get all that in there. I'm gonna want a little spacing between them. Easy enough to accomplish. Okay. So apply changes, callback here. And then delete connection callback here. All right. And then it's the same callback. I thought we already had... It was down here. Yeah. Okay. The same part we work on every day currently, just the map editor getting this form banged out. That's going to still be our biggest hurdle. But yeah. How are you today? Okay. Let's get... I guess we can get these guys back. Do I want to discard changes button? I think I do, though. Think here. Yeah, let's just do... Actually, I think we did a floating action button small on the other side. Oh, that's the other one. Let's not do small on that one. Good, trying to remove BitLocker and old Windows 8 PC my friend gave me, and it's a pain. Gotcha. Let's do smalls here. And then in our this, I don't think there's a padding in there. We just need to do a padding around our text. Edge instance geometry. Symmetric? Yeah. Horizontal. I don't know, like 5. Maybe 5 for both. Maybe not symmetric. Oh, that extends outside of my small. That's not good. Okay, what if I don't do that then? I'll just leave that. And then move this back to just a regular. That looks funky then. So if we're gonna do that, then we probably just do that. This one, let's do we can use our same icon, our refresh icon that we were using. I'm okay with that. I really want these guys to be small, though. It's going to look much better in the context of where these guys want to live. I just need you. There's no... And that causes to move down. There's just not enough room for this. And it's not really a save button. It's an apply button. Because it applies to the in-memory stuff. Because maps don't get saved until you click save. Is there... There's no apply icon. What kind of icon says apply? There just really isn't one. Is there... Extended, large, and small. I don't think it's extended. That's going to make you too tall. Yes, yes it will. And if we do this again, symmetric, horizontal 5, let's just say. That's going to push you into horrible word wrappy land. And I don't have any control over that. Is there any other way? Make loading action button small, wider. Wrap your floating action button with a fitted box inside a container. I want that. I would have to do a sized box. Or a container. Hmm. It's not super helpful to me. I guess I could. A small should be 40 by 40. So if I was to do in here a container, let's call you 80, call the height 40, child, our apply box here, and then you are just a floating action button again. That does work. I guess that's fine. Hopefully I'm not overlooking something. I love that graphical glitch. I'm really hoping that's just a me thing. There we go. Me thing or a Pop OS thing. You're not... Oh, use size box. It's not... I guess. It can be a size box. It doesn't really matter. Fine then, Flutter. Be what you want to be. Okay. You need... we need some reset logic here, then we need to hook you up to that. Our reset logic is pretty simple. It's a void, reset data, and what we do is we say editable copy equals connection data dot clone widget dot data. So we clone our data back into the editable copy, and then we're going to set state here instead of elsewhere, I think. But the enter controller text now needs to equal the editable copy. Enter transit enter. There we go. The exit controller text is the editable copy. Transit exit, because we've copied things over, so we're safe. They've been reset, and then the exit description controller text equals editable copy exit description, like so. Easy enough for this form. The others are read only, so we're good there. So our reset logic just becomes a call to reset data. Done. So, meow. Oh, we also need to get our unsaved changes warning in. But we'll do that in a second here. If we just make it a little bigger. Done with that for now, I think. And I come in here, I go, blah, 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 and then I reset. Boom. Back to where it was. Cool. Love that. Good, 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 good. Let's do a quick commit here. We're done with that for now. Add the control buttons on the bottom. The form. Add reset logic. Add or consume that in the reset button. Oh. I've been in the wrong. There we go. Let's close those. I don't need those open. Just the one for now. There we go. All right. Let's hook up things for the warning text first here. So we don't want you to be wait, I put you yes. Let's put it above the buttons, I guess. Between it and the form. So we'll do another row here. It's going to only have one child, really. Do I even want to do a row? Maybe. Unsaved changes. But you need a style. Yes. Text style. Oops. And you should have a color property. Yes. Color. Theme of context. Color scheme. Error. Container? Was that what we were using? I don't remember. No. It's too dark. That's kind of on the light side. Hang on. That's definitely not. Is it just the error color? It is. Okay. Okay, so. Meow. I need you to always have a height. So I think I actually want this to be just a sized box. How do we feel about that? But if I make you a container, I can do a padding and give you symmetric vertical 10. Nope. I don't want that. Hey to you as well. It's not a padding I want. That's what's going on. Margin. That's what I wanted. Why are you... Oh, y'all are in here with a padding... Not padding, You are padding. What is determining your distance between one another? Is that my form field? Yes, it is. It has padding top, bottom. Except... I really want this to be a little bit better. That's closer. Yeah, I like that. Okay. This, now, we could say, is either this or null based on whether or not modified is true. If it is, do that. Otherwise, give me null. Thought I needed a question mark there. But do. Oh, I also forgot in my this, I need to say modified is false because we cleared all our modifications. So, boop, that goes away then until we make another change. Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead and commit this, and we add unsaved changes warning to connection data form. Okay. Meow. What's next? Hoodie time is next because it's getting chilly. Hoodie season is in full swing tonight. All right, so we're going to need to have saving logic in here. That's going to have to come from the parent, which is fine, except I've got a stack of widgets here because room data is the parent to these guys. And I think that's going to be fine, actually. We'll see. We might end up in a little bit of trouble, but we'll power through. We actually need to do a couple other things here. We don't have any buttons for the room part either. And actually, I guess I wasn't done with that other. How did we used to lay this out, and do I still like it? Map. We had buttons here. I'm okay with that. We also used to put location at the bottom and in a little bit better way. I think I like this. We're going to do this again, but then we're also going to do this before. Yeah, I like that. I was cooking pretty good with that, I think. Check that down there in case I need it again in a second here. Move that so I can still see stuff. So back in our room data form. So we've got our sidebar stuff. Let's move this down here. And then you are not going to be this. You're going to be a string. And we're going to say X, which will be location X. And then I did no comma. Just a space and then Y. The Y coordinate. And then I'm going to want I want a little bit of space there. Well, actually, we're going to want a row here anyway. Above that, we're going to want the sized box. the same way we just did over here. Right? That's what we settled on for. Oh, we ended up using container because we could use a margin. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we'll do a container. I'll spell it correctly just for fun. Capitalize it correctly. We liked sets dot only. We liked a bottom 15 there. You were 20. That was good. We're going to do the same thing we did here. Text style, color, theme of context. Color scheme. Error. And this is unsafe changes there. Okay, perfect. Or the alternative is a null. Either way, then we have our row. We're going to do the same thing we did here. Children, widget, floating action button, small here as well, I think. We'll see how it looks. One second, be right back. Weird noise. Not me. All right. Must have been the neighbors doing something. Okay. You need a text. No, wait. Yes. Icon. Icons refresh. We want a reset button here as well. To do zoom reset data here. Moved my stuff and I'm all out of sorts now. Okay. And then another. Just bang in a func there. Small. This is the one that needs to be in a container, though. Right? Sized box. Because you're this, you're going to have... That was supposed to be a comma. Text. Apply. So we need you in there like so. No there. And we'll do the same, width 80, height 40. Where did my... Okay, good. We forgot to do main axis alignment and also spacing 10. Okay, that's much better. Meow, let's go ahead and get in our other after the size box. Let's also do to do need and apply changes callback here. also call apply changes on the connections. Can we do that? Maybe. Okay. Then after our sized box, floating action button, you're going to be a small. Need a delete object callback here. Also delete child connections. You are icon const dot delete forever outlined. Like so. Okay, beautiful. We also need, however, our background color, theme of context, color scheme, error container, foreground color, theme of context, color scheme on error container. Okay, perfect. Now we need a little bit of a gap below here. Let's just do, I don't know, 30? I put you in the wrong spot. There we go. Okay. That's better. Give it a little room to breathe. We're going to also need to hook up, but yeah, there we go. Our unsaved changes. We just need to hook up that button. For that, we need to do much the same thing. We're going to start with the clone editable copy equals room data clone widget dot data, like so. Set state in here. We have description controller. Text equals editable copy description. Verbose description controller. Verbose description. And that's the only two in this one. I want to be a little bit more consistent here. Oops. And underscore these guys. I think we're good there. And then modified is false because we just made so. Need to, there we go. That's good. That didn't work. Hang on. That might be a hot load issue. We'll find out. Here. No. Oh, forgot to hook it up. Duh. Reset data gets called there. Let's try that again, eh? Boop. There we go. Perfect. Do 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 do. Boop. Do do do. Boop. Love it. Perfection. Okay. Ah. We're done with that again for now. Should just be you, yes. Add the buttons for the room data. Add reset data helper. Soon reset data helper in reset button. Okay. Now, we need to start getting things applied. That's going to need a couple things. For one, what are you? Tile data. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's all fine. Except... Okay, so I have tile data, inside of which is the room data. So I've got to... I don't want to save this. It's kind of annoying. I could pass down, like pass along through the map controller. And then they could use that. I could put a state for dirty in that map controller, which would drive our unsafe changes here or wherever we put it. That could be a thing. Do I want to do that? The alternative is I'd have to hand callbacks down, and that kind of sucks. If I was to put them in at least here, then I'd have to pass it through to here. The other thing is getting these guys saved if you didn't apply the changes in here, but you clicked apply here. Which is kind of a janky, edgy sort of use case, but like it's easy to think, bleh, and then, yeah, and then bleh, and then I want to apply, right? So that would be easy to get yourself into that. And I would like this to also reset that data, actually. So how am I going to do that? I could... What could I? What could I do? And this also has to apply to all the tile types. We could store references to these guys, but I don't know that's a great idea. We could just wipe this out and rebuild these guys. We would have to store it in a in a variable. That, I mean, that's not terrible. Let's do that. Let's go ahead. We'll have a... I don't think it can be final because we support adding connections, or we will. We will support such a thing. Speaking of which, I need to not forget to do that. Make sure we don't forget that. Okay, so this ended up being late is what it's gonna be, I think. And it's gonna be just a list of widgets. I'm gonna call you. What are you gonna call you? What shall you be named? Connection widgets is what you shall be named. We could say that it's specifically a list of connection data form, maybe? Like so. Okay. We're going to need a helper because we're going to need to call this multiple times. We're going to just call you... that. Let's say get connection forms is fine. You're going to be... something like that, except we could, instead of doing that, let's do this. Let's just do connection widgets equals a new list, and then we add you here. So we end up with a new list. Then we don't have to return anything. It's beautiful. So in our init, after our dealio there, in our set state, we also call get connection forms. And then here, can I just do connection widgets? I can just do that. Okay. That didn't work though. What happened? It's in the set state there. Is this a hot reload bug? Maybe. Probably not though. Probably messed something up. Seems like something I would do. Yeah, it is a hot reload bug. Okay. So, we do that. Now, on a reset of our data, we reset data. Actually, we could put this in, because after we reset everything, connection widgets, or not that, get connection forms. So if I come in here, and I'll click over to something else real quick and back just to be sure. If I was to come in here and then go blah, 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 and then I reset this, it doesn't change that. Just in case. Probably not the case, but we'll make sure. Try this one more time. Wop, 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 wop. Dot up, up, up. Okay. And I bet you it's because... Crap. Okay. It's because the connections haven't actually changed. Okay, so instead of doing that, what we can do another helper here. Actually, we don't even need to. We can just do it in here. So if our connection form data, let's just say, for connection data form in connection widgets, boop, we come in here and we say form dot reset data. Why is that not? You're inside the class, right? Oh. Shit. It's inside the private class. That's going to be a problem. And I can create state again. I don't think that's going to help me, though. Yeah. Not surprised. What other things... And I'm pretty sure I don't have... Like, I can access the parent from inside of here, the state it extends, but can I do that the other way around? Stateful widget, access state property. How's that? How's that for a question? Listenable stream and or inherited widget. That's a weird answer. We can do notifications. State subscribes to them. Okay. That might be a thing. Suppose a state's widget within with a static method. Starter page state. That seems even more janky. Okay. So notifications bubble up. But couldn't I hook up these guys to one to another? Dispatch context on your notification instance. It'll bubble up. I think this only works the other way around, though. I don't think this works for... I want to call a... Call method on stateful widget. Callback pattern. So, okay, we've got that. Parent state, extend state parent. I don't understand what you're telling me to do here yet, Mr. Example. Okay, a function on color selects is passed to the child. Where? Color picker. There we go. On color select. But... void callback. Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, duh. This pattern every hierarchy level. I don't want to do it that way, though. I want to do it the other way around. We could still maybe do this way. I guess, I mean, the idea was to reuse this widget. We could try pulling state up further. But then that becomes complicated as well. Or okay, so we can do they're saying except for it needs to be not there. It would need to be here. But they're doing it above create state? So we would do it here. I don't think this is right. Yeah, no, this is jank. Okay. Let's see here. I guess we could... Nah, I don't really want to do... I don't want to use provider in this case, I don't think. I don't want to lift the state. I really don't. But I might have to. Because if I lift the state, then I can't use the same widget, right? And I really want to. Although I guess I don't necessarily have to make a different widget for it. It would just live in the other... Like, we'd have a generic sort of thing, maybe. Like, maybe it's okay. Maybe we can still get away with this idea. We just have to move these controllers up, I think. That's already done. We don't need that. And we'd have to make our copies as well. And then you have to provide the controllers, which isn't the end of the world. And then we can just reset the controller data in this reset data. So we ditched this. We leave this because here is where we can do that. So we need to have this resets that. This becomes that. Oh, actually, that's an interesting thought. No, because we didn't reset the... Yeah, okay. We probably have to lift the modified state up as well. Or would we? Let's see if we can get this working. We still need this. That's still that. Except, okay, so we need to store a list of these, because we can't just have one of these text controllers. So that makes this a lot more complicated if we do that. Why can't I just do that? Why wouldn't that rebuild? It seems like it should. Well, it doesn't rebuild anything now. Okay. Oh, that's because when we clone, did we remember? We don't have... Okay, so we need to also clone connections. If you're not empty, connection data, source connections, otherwise null. Okay, now let's rerun that. Why are you still not? And we do clone you at the start, right? Yes. Get connection forms gets called. What's going on there? Why aren't you cloning like you're supposed to? You know, I probably have to do... What if I did this instead? I can't do a for loop in here, though. I guess I could do... something like that, maybe. It wouldn't be void, though. It'd be... connection data. And this would be... source. So we got... list of connection data. Result. Connection data list, like so. In source, add connection data dot clone the connection here. Like so. And then you become that. Why can't I call you here? This should be a static, though. Like so. It's not a class member. It's not an instance member. It's just a static function. There we go. Okay. So then I can do that. Now, what do we think? Map editor. There. Okay. And then if we come in here and fhouse step up, and then refresh, it's still, yeah, it still doesn't, It's still hanging on to that guy. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to lift the state, I think. And if we're gonna do that, let's think a little bit harder about this. Because we're still gonna have that trouble with we want to do stuff in the map, right? And maybe provider is just the answer here. But we don't want to store the whole state of the whole map state in provider. Like that's too much. All right, let's roll this one back. That with it. We're going to switch this back to where it was because we didn't gain anything from that. And get that out. Okay. Also don't need that anymore. Instead, we would need... a bunch of controllers. I don't want a bunch of controllers. I guess the question really becomes, do I want to implement this at all? It would be nice to have, but it causes a lot of problems. Because we can't get a hold of the state. I guess the other thing we could do is make like a class for it. Like a controller, a connection controller, connection tile, connection data controller. And just feed that to the form. And then we can still keep a track of that controller and reset it as needed. The problem with that is we're not going to be able to display when... Like, if we were to come in here and change something here and, you know... blah, 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 whatever, right? That's fine and dandy. This says unsaved changes. This is not aware that a change has been made underneath the hood there. But I guess we do have the... We can listen to changes to these controllers, but that also won't help us when we go to add the drop-down menus, right? The other thing, what if we just did a provider in here? Would that make sense? Maybe. Let's go read up on provider really quick. And I don't remember, let's double check. Yeah, we haven't imported it as a dependency just yet, which is fine. Provider. Doop. Maybe context watch these things. We could do that, I think. And it would be much more manageable to just put in these guys, except then we're still going to end up with like the maximum number is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sets of controllers if we were to put them in there. So that doesn't really solve that problem at all. We can watch the modified value for them. We could do that. I also need to double check. I forget what they call you. Drop down button. I think that takes a text controller too, but it could be wrong. Drop down value gets called. Text style. Am I forgetting? Am I misremembering? Or was it like an optional? Items. Initial value. Yeah, there's no controllers in there. Okay. I think I want to not support this for now. Well, it causes a ton of problems, but I'm worried about it's going to bite somebody, probably me, in the future. If you happen to forget to click apply. I don't like that idea. There's got to be a better way. Inherited widget adds a notes list so you can access it with the passing state around too much. This isn't quite what I want to do. Void callback keeps getting mentioned. Maybe I'm not understanding it the way I thought I did. Let's take a look at that. So, bop it up. Create state, get that, the state. Okay, perfect, understood. Parent widget manages the widget state. And a bet tap out changed. On changed is that. Okay, yes. Notifies the parent. That's for stateless. Okay, so we have handle tap down, highlight is true in set state. Override the build. Okay. Value changed, on changed. Gesture detector. Okay, none of that really helped me a ton. Might have missed something in there, but most of that just matches my understanding of things. All right. I think I'm just trying to do things incorrectly in the Flutter mindset here. This still needs to be stateful even if we lift the state, because the drop-down box is going to require that. I really don't want to make 8, 16, no, 24 different controllers. That seems like insanity, just from a complexity standpoint, right? And some of them are going to be null sometimes, like on edges. They won't have all the connections. But without having a controller for it, I think a controller is just going to be the answer. I need to make a controller for this model. And then we can store references to those controllers. And then we can iterate through them on the reset. I think it just has to be. Okay. So let's start looking at what that would look like in our brains here. I was trying to get away without them. Actually, could the map controller... No. No, it has to be just for this. Okay. And it's going to get passed into this. And that's just going to lift most of this up into that controller. Okay, so... we're going to do... Ooh, gosh. A connection data form controller. Let's call it that. I won't need Cupertino for that, or material for that. Okay. You are going to have text editing controller. I think I can just pull all these over like so. We would need to override dispose. Oops. Except for we won't have a super, right? Duh. I think this is still okay. We really just want to clean up after ourselves as best we can. Okay, so we do that. The editable copy needs to come up as well. I don't need Cupertino. Oh, I do. Okay. But we're going to import material instead. And we're going to spell it correctly for fun. Okay, so we have our connection form editable copy. Okay. I think we don't need anything for that. Because everything is just going to live in here. We don't need that just yet. We need the form itself. Call you just data. And then this needs that. This is going to be a late. Can I do this up here? I don't know if I can do this up here. We'll try it. This is connection data, not a form. Whoops. Let's re-import that. Like so. You're going to complain at me, right? Oh, no. Okay, I can do that. And then here we just expose a couple things. We just need a reset data, basically, which is going to look an awful lot like this. Okay, so if we do this, we just get rid of this set state stuff. It won't matter because we're not in. We get rid of that. We'll have to handle the state part of this. This is just the controller. Okay, now the other thing this needs is an on save. Which is going to have connection data as a value. This needs to be needs to be something like that. Oh wow, I totally just losing my mind. That. Then this on save. Data is going to be required. Oh, I can't do required. Oh, right. I need to do this. Absolutely can do required. Okay, so I think that's okay. Now, when we go through this. First of all, we're going to need actually, this isn't. This is just this. It's an empty list at start. And then we did get rid of our but we can do this in here. We can say well, we need to make you capable first. We need a controller here. You're that. I can't do... Okay. Well, shit. So we'd still need to do... Okay, that's fine. I'm not terribly mad about that. Connection data form. Form list. And then here we say connection form list is connection data form, empty list, clear you to begin with. And we just say connection data dat in editable copy connections. We make a controller. Like so. And then we say connection data form. We're going to rename that. And we add you to our list. Yeah, okay. And then we also do... I can't do this more than once. That's going to be problematic. I don't want to duplicate these anytime this gets built. But that should be fine as long as we don't call it in our reset data. We'll work with the list. We're going to call you connection controllers instead. Get that out of here. This just needs to be connection form list. This connection controllers, add controller, like so. Okay. Then in here, the data form controller in connection controllers, we do controller dot reset data. Okay, right. So theoretically now, we just need to go make connection form work with this instead. These, however, also need to be public so that this guy can reach in here and mess with them. Because it needs to be able to pull a reference out so that it can do the stuff in the form fields, right? Okay. Yes. We're going to go with that, I think. All right. I am going to go to bed, though. It's late, and I got to work tomorrow. So, we're going to do this, the rest of this tomorrow. Thank you for everybody who came to hang out. It was good to see you. And we got some stuff done. We got some stuff figured out. We, kind of noodled around and encountered more ways that Flutter... I'm trying to abuse it. I'm not thinking in a Flutter way yet. But yeah, that's productive. But yeah, I do this thing for roughly 2 hours a night, 4 nights a week, starting on Friday and ending tomorrow. So if you like this kind of thing, come on back tomorrow at around about 8 p.m. Central, and I will be doing more. I'd love to see you. And if not, you guys have yourselves a great weekend anyway. Great week anyway. And I will catch you